Welcome to the Positive Pants Podcast. Mindset, motivation, and inspiration to help you find your positive pants. Let go of negative thinking and stop living for the weekend. With your host, Fran Excel.
So welcome to the show. As always, it's Fran Excel Mindset Coach, helping you find your very own pair of positive pants so you can get out of your own way and live a life that you love. So today, I am talking about what stories are you telling yourself? So what stories are you telling yourself? As humans, we are natural storytellers. We go through life telling them, believing them, picking them up from other people, and from our experiences as we go along. But the stories I'm talking about here aren't necessarily the ones that you might tell out loud. So these stories are things that you fundamentally believe to be true, to the point that you would never challenge whether they're even true. They are fundamental beliefs that you have. And the thing is, the majority of the time, the stories that we're telling ourselves are the very things that are holding us back. And simply creating that awareness of what they are or where they come from can be enough to start moving forwards in life and in your business. So stories really are everywhere. These honestly affect every single area of your life. What do you believe to be true about relationships, your own abilities, how easy it is to make money, all these different areas? What do you believe to be true? What stories have you got that you believe? So these stories are woven through every single little aspect of our lives. They can be beneficial, but they can also often be so damaging. So when you have one, your brain will always actively give you the evidence that it's true. As much as your brain can have some funny ways, it is trying to look after you, but it doesn't get it wrong sometimes. Fundamentally, it wants to please you and affirm that you're right. So that's what you get until you look for the evidence to the contrary. So here's a few of mine to give you an idea. A few stories that I've had for decades, some of them that directly held me back from going after what I wanted. So I'm not pretty enough or thin enough to get a relationship, job, run my own business, write a book, or do anything of any sort of significance, really. I really struggled with that one. I genuinely thought that the way I looked had a huge dependence on what I was capable of. I'm not clever enough and I'm no good with numbers, so I couldn't start a business. 3 stories rolled into one right there. From the girl who was in advertising sales and negotiated and handled multi-million pound contracts for 14 years, now has her own business. I'm no good at learning. One of my favorite things to do, and I collect qualifications like their stamps. If you look through my phone, the amount of courses I've got links to, the amount of Udemy courses I have, the amount of qualifications I have, I'm obsessed with learning, but I genuinely thought I was no good at it because that was my protection mechanism. So I couldn't fail. Does that make sense? Another one was I can't be a coach because you can only coach people in person and within a 5-mile radius of where you live. And I don't live in a place where people would want coaching. This one genuinely stopped me becoming a coach for 4 years. And all I needed to do was change that black and white perception that I had and say, hello, internet. And it's once you can unearth these stories, it's so obvious how wrong they are. But because they're so ingrained inside you, you don't even think to question it. And another one is, I'm not good enough to write a book. Right, I may have procrastinated over it for about 15 years, but it is coming, I promise. So where you're at now is a direct result of the stories that you tell yourself. They're ingrained deep into your subconscious mind. And the thing is, it's usually utter rubbish. So what we need to do is we need to bring it from your unconscious mind into your conscious mind. So becoming aware of, identifying and challenging these stories is how and why I get to do the things that I do today. So you've got to watch out, though, for those sneaky positive negatives. So you've got to watch out for the positive payback that the negative stories can have. Because what they do is they allow other people to empathize with us, give us attention, sympathy, validation. It feels really, really good to feel understood, right? But the trick is to be really honest with yourself about which ones are serving you and which ones aren't. You can see how easy it is to get stuck in these. The I'm too busy, or the I don't have time, all of those different things that you tell yourself, or waiting for the right time. So if there is a positive payback, you need to decide which one you want in your life, because it's holding you back, but you do have a choice over which one you want more. Do you want to stay safe in your sympathy and your validation and feeling understood and having the attention, or do you want to be better? Do you want to have a better life? Do you want to be happier? Which one do you want more? It's perfectly fine, whatever you choose, just understand you're choosing it. So what I want you to do is to start to be aware of all your I can't because stories. Are they really true? Go back to where you think this story came from and challenge it. You'll find the majority of them are completely untrue, and some of them came back from way back when you were a small child, but it's just never been challenged, and it's a fundamental belief now. But the thing with stories, though, is as much as you can tell them and believe them, you also get to rewrite them. They're yours and nobody else's. You have the control and the power to choose your story, and dun, 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 you can start doing it today. So here's an exercise for you. I want you to grab your journals, and if you don't have it with you, pause this and come back to it later. In your journal, I want you to write down all the things you want to achieve, as many as you can think of. So pause this while you write those down. Next to all of these, I want you to write down all the reasons you've been telling yourself that you can't do or have those things in your life. Yeah? So take your time over this. It's genuinely like peeling an onion. There is always another layer. It's the same thing with fears. Sometimes the fears that we think on surface level is what we're afraid of. It's actually about 5 layers deep, what we're really, truly afraid of. So the same process applies here. Think of all the I can't because and not yet because stories and beliefs. What are the things you would love to do but have told yourself you never could because, or I'm not blah stories? What stories are you telling yourself about your business? Is it that you could never speak in public because you're too shy, or do a Facebook Live, or write a book, or go to a networking event? Or is it that you're too unlucky in life, so why bother? Or people would never pay X for what I have to offer? Or I'm far too busy, I don't have time. Write them all down. And a hint, if you're struggling, you'll often find them hidden in the stories that you tell other people, the excuses you give to other people about why you're not doing or can't have something that you want, the ways you justify not having them yet. This is the stuff you need to start becoming aware of. And like I said, there are ways, these are the ways that you're actually seeking validation from other people. If they agree with you, it's like a relief to your subconscious that it's okay to behave how you are. It's okay to not take the action because, oh dear, yeah, you're so busy, I completely get it, I understand. It's all right, you don't have to do that. Really go to town on this exercise because it is so important to identify these if you're going to move past them and change your story. So now what I want you to do is write out your new story. Yeah? Write it down based in evidence that is believable for you. So I'm not good enough to have a successful business can change to there are plenty of other people running successful businesses who are less qualified than me. So there's no real reason I can't be just as successful, if not more so. Turn it into a, well, why the hell not me? To the point that is so obvious, like, well, why not me? Find the facts that support your new story and debunk your old one. Okay? So be kind to yourself in this exercise and through this process. These stories and beliefs won't shift overnight. You've been knowing them to be true your whole life. But shifting them will change your life. So stick with it and be patient. And then watch every area of your life grow exponentially. When you do this work, you will see change so quickly. You will see new opportunities, have new ideas, feel so much less limited. So it's worth a little effort and discomfort, right? Yeah? And if you know that now is the time to start changing these things for yourself and you want to explore this further or have any questions or want some accountability, because you're going to need that, and make sure that you're doing the things that you need to do, then please do book in a free discovery call with me so we can see what needs to happen to get you from where you're at right now to the successful business owner that you know you can be. I hope that was really useful, and as always, I will see you next week.